Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into something almost all of us deal with: spending money on our family. Sometimes it can feel like a chore, a constant drain on our finances. But what if that whole way of thinking is completely backward? We're going to look at a perspective that flips the script, turning this duty from a burden into one of the most powerful acts of worship you can do. All right, let's just dive right in with this incredibly powerful, honestly, almost shocking statement. That word, prisoners. It's meant to jolt you. It's there to make you stop and really feel the weight of this responsibility. The idea is that your family is, in a way, completely entrusted to you, a sacred trust placed right in your hands. So let's break this down into 3 simple, core ideas. First, taking care of your family, that's a sacred trust. It's not just a social norm. Second, any good thing that comes your way, any blessing or income, they have the first claim on it. And third, and this is the big one, there are serious consequences. This isn't just, some friendly advice. It's presented as a kind of spiritual law of cause and effect. If you neglect this, the blessing itself can be taken away. So, how does this ancient wisdom play out in our modern world? Well, it often crashes right into a very common, very real contradiction. The huge difference between how we act in public and how we act at home. Does any of this sound familiar? You're out with friends and you're the generous one, maybe even lavish, keeping up appearances. But then you get home and suddenly the story changes. It's all, we have to save, or we don't have the money right now, or just excuse after excuse. The sources are really direct about this. They call it a deep hypocrisy, where generosity is just a performance for others, while the people who matter most get the scraps. Now, this isn't just about, bad manners or poor form. According to the foundational text we're looking at, this kind of behavior has really severe spiritual consequences. Let's look at what they call the high cost of stinginess. The specific term for this is bukhl, and it's so important we get this right. Bukhl is not about being frugal or saving for a rainy day. Not at all. It's described as a spiritual disease, a destructive trait. It's basically an act of self-sabotage. By holding back from your family, you're not actually saving anything. The paradox here is that you're actually pushing away blessings and, believe it or not, inviting poverty into your life. And this verse from the Qur'an just says it all, doesn't it? It's as plain as day. The person who really gets hurt by your stinginess, it's not your family, not in the long run. It's you. It's your own soul. The harm is directed inward. It's like a perfect closed loop of self-inflicted damage. Okay, so if that's the big warning, what's the way out? Well, the texts don't just point out the problem and leave you hanging. They give us a direct command for the antidote, a proactive, intentional, and heartfelt generosity. The Quran itself gives us a pretty clear blueprint. It says to provide for your family, food and clothing, according to what you can afford. It even gives a priority list for your charity. It starts with your parents, then your close relatives. But my favorite part is this instruction to live with your family in a state of goodness. That's such a beautiful concept. It's not just about being morally good. The term includes financial generosity and making sure they're comfortable. And the prophetic wisdom takes this to a whole other level. Just think about this for a second. The absolute best dinar, the best dollar you will ever spend in your entire life, is the one you spend on your family. It's not just a good thing to do. It's considered the highest form of spending, equal to spending directly in God's cause. It totally reframes our priorities. And it reminds us that real poverty isn't having no money. It's having a stingy heart. And now we get to the best part of this whole equation. After all the warnings and all the commands, we get to the promises. And the reward for doing this right isn't just something you wait for in the next life. It's tangible, and it starts right here, right now. So let's just isolate this one concept because it is so important. What is the single most valuable, most rewarded, most blessed way to spend your money? It's not some huge public donation that gets your name on a wall. Nope. It's the money you spend on your family. That's number 1, period. And right here, we get the divine formula, stated as clearly as possible. It's a direct cause and effect. Your generosity towards your family actually triggers God's generosity towards you. So you see, you're not losing money when you spend on them. You're actually investing in what you could call an economy of blessings, where the returns are, quite literally, guaranteed. So what does this all boil down to? It all comes back to a single fundamental mindset shift.
It's about consciously choosing to stop seeing your family's needs as a financial burden and instead seeing them as your number one gateway to receiving more blessings.
It really just comes down to these two paths, two simple choices. Path one, you see your family as a burden. Your actions become stinginess and excuses. And the result? The blessing is removed. But path two, you see your family as a blessing. Your actions become generosity and care. And the divine outcome? Your own provision is increased. Your mindset literally creates your financial and your spiritual reality. So we'll leave you with this final question to think about. Knowing that your family is your greatest trust from God, take a look at your own life. Is your spending an act of gratitude that invites more blessings to come your way? Or is it an act of neglect that actually risks losing the blessings you already have? According to this wisdom, the answer to that question changes everything. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.